made it. But I do think that we have seen, certainly in Arab American circles, we can talk more broadly, Middle Eastern American circles, a heightened consciousness around these questions, the question of white privilege, the question of complicity, and how anti-Blackness has played a role in identity formation in many respects, and in that Americanizing journey, and people being, accountable and held accountable and holding themselves accountable to that legacy of not only privilege, but a certain denial and, as was referenced in the film by John Karam, essentially throwing communities under the bus. And I think there's a lot of unlearning that's been taking place, and Arab Americans now very consciously and strategically and genuinely aligning themselves with anti-white supremacist politics. And that being a shift, that is obviously, we can talk about, we talk a lot about the racial reckoning since the murder of George Floyd. And I think that we can go all the way back to, as Fuad was referencing, to 9/11, and this period where people had to start really confronting who we are in this American rubric, who we are within the broader American story, and seeing ourselves and feeling ourselves being so utterly despised and feared and spoken of as an existential threat, as a fifth column, as a security concern for the country, not to be trusted, not to be, in any way given benefit of the doubt. So all of that has converged to, into a sea change and of attitude and activism and commitment and priorities and so forth.